has set a seal on their hearts and on their hearing, and on their eyes is a veil. Great is the penalty they incur. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعنافهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان هم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون. The English rendering of these Arabic pearls of wisdom and inspiration says to us more or less, Yasin, with the name of God, Allah, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. Yasin, by the Quran full of wisdom, you are indeed one of the messengers on a straight way. It is a revelation sent down by him, the exalted in might, most merciful, in order that you may admonish a people whose fathers have received no warning and who therefore remain heedless of the signs of Allah. The word is proved true against the greater part of them, for they do not believe. We have put yokes around their necks, right up to their chins, so that their heads are forced up, and they cannot see. And we have put a bar in front of them and a bar behind them, and further, we have covered them up so that they cannot see. The same is it to them, whether you warn them or do not warn them, they will not believe. Thou canst but admonish such a one as follows the message and fears the Lord most gracious unseen. Give such a one therefore good tidings of forgiveness and a reward most generous. Thank you. Salim Anan, I need you up here. Brother Rashida, wherever you are. Oh, he's right here. Praise be to Allah.
Assalamu alaikum. And his peace be unto you. I'm going to be you might say, the MC for this. We would like the family to also take my condolences with them also. I was a new brother, Shafer, for many years. He was a friend of mine, and he was a Muslim. And I have nothing but high regards for him and good thoughts for him. So we'll move things right along to try to keep it going. We have a selection now, and we'll try to go by the order of service that we have. We have a selection now from Brittany Houston. It's not here? Okay. Then we'll go into the scriptural reading. We will like to paraphrase this out of the Holy Quran with this. We know, if I read this without paraphrasing, you might have some problems. We know that in all of the scriptures, God has created man out of dust. He says that in the Quran also. But it also says that he brings to our attention that he also creates us by the use of our parents. So bear that in mind as I read about 16 verses of the surah called Mu'min. The Arabic name is Mu'min. Translated in English, it means those who believe in God. Here God says to us, the believers must eventually win through. Those who humble themselves in their prayers, who avoid vain talk, who are active in deeds of charity, except with those joined to them in the marriage bond of the captive whom thy right hand possesses. For in their cases they are free from blame. But those whose desires exceed those limits are transgressors. Those who faithfully observe their trusts and their covenants, and who strictly guard their prayers, they will inherit the paradise. They will dwell therein forever. Man we did create from a quercetin of clay. Then we placed him as a drop of sperm in a place of rest, firmly fixed. Then we made the sperm into a clot of congealed blood. Then out of that clot we made a fetus lump. Then we made out of that fetus bones and clothed the bones with flesh. Then we developed out of it another creation. So blessed be to God, the best to create. After that, at length, he will die. And on the day of judgment, will he be raised up. Surely Allah, God, speaks the truth. The next is a prayer from our holy book, Quran. It is the opening, it opens the book. It opens the Quran. We open it with prayer. And it is the most frequent prayer that's said on this earth. It's called Al-Fatiha. You have over a billion and a half Muslims saying this prayer 5 times a day. So it is the most recited prayer of the human being on this earth. I will say it first in Arabic, and then I will give you the translation of that. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Ameen. Translate that in English. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. Praise be to God, the cherisher and sustainer of the worlds, most gracious, most merciful, master of the day of judgment. Thee we worship, and thine aid we seek. Show us the straight way, the way of those on whom thou hast bestowed thy grace, those whose portions is not wrath, and who go not astray. Amen. We have acknowledgments of cards and condolences and poems. We have anyone to do that? Okay.
transition on Tuesday, July the 2nd, 2013, at Henry Ford Health System at the age of 63. He was born February the 15th, 1950 in Steele, Missouri to James and Estella Johnson. Shafer was a kind person and loved helping others. He loved spending time with his family. Shafer was a devoted father and grandfather whose presence will be truly missed by all who knew him, who knew and loved him. He leaves to cherish his memory 9 children: Shantia Levi Harrison, Shafer Catherine Johnson, Tamara Johnson, Hyman Johnson, Aisha Cooper, Jocelyn Zeus Patterson, Tamika Abdullah, Umar Abdullah, Aaliyah Abdullah, 14 grandchildren, Levi and Tierra Harrison, Demetrius, Demetria, Shafer Jr., Bilal, Thomas, Dominique, Riante, Catherine, Naomi, Cameron, Damian, Janae, and Hakia. 1 expected grandchild, Zayden. 2 great-grandchildren, Shemaiah and Lariah Harrison. Siblings, Mamie Sharif, Marilyn Cobb, Karen Quirk, Tina Dorsey, Cyrus Johnson, Chaplain Cassandra Johnson, several uncles, nieces, aunts, nephews, cousins, and friends. Shafer was preceded in death by his parents, James and Estella Johnson, grandparents, Warren and Mamie Johnson, George and Lizzie Ross, 1 sister, Anissa Evelyn Abdullah, 1 brother, Dobby Johnson. The family wishes to acknowledge with deep appreciation the many comforting messages, prayers, and other expressions of kindness and concerns. Special appreciation to Georgette Cobbs, Joe Johnson, and Robert Elamine. They all have given us the strength to face this hour. Dear Daddy, we still cannot believe it. It all seems so unreal that you're no longer with us and all this pain that we all feel. We know you're no longer suffering, and in that we find relief. It just seems like our last moments with you were definitely brief. You were such an awesome father. You were the first man we loved. You taught us everything we know, and now your spirit shines above. We are going to miss you, Daddy, because you're also our best friend. And now our hearts are truly broken. So this until we meet again, from your children. Thank you.
Remarks, family and friends? No
Assalamu alaikum. How can we do this in 2 minutes? We have been told to do this in 2 minutes. I cannot speak on my brother and my friend in 2 minutes. The only thing I can say is that most of us brothers that came up, there's a lot of them here I see, he was a soldier. He was a real soldier. He was a positive man. He was a kind man. And he wasn't a bigot. He's calmed me down a lot. There was a time that me and him used to talk about had service. But he was my mentor. Because if it wasn't for Allah and brothers that I know that's here, especially Shafer, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. We traveled. We did a lot of things together. My condolences to the family, to Shafer Jr., to the daughters. You had a great father, and you know this. A great man. I can't speak too much because it's too much to talk about Shafer. It's just too much to speak on it. A lot of us brothers was together in the first resurrection. Some of the brothers, when we split up, we went to Sunniism. Me and Shafer was more like the rebels. We always I always call him Malcolm X Jr. because he was always the one that would always start. I was always the enforcer. I would always finish it. So he was a kind brother, a mild-mannered brother, but he was unique and he was an artist. I don't know if anyone knows that he was a great painter. He was a master painter. And I used to go with him to different places in Detroit to paint. He taught me. And we used to climb ladders together with some of the brothers that were bigger than I was scared to go on heights. So he would sit back and he says, Ahmed. That was my name, Ahmed. The name is Maximus Ahmed Kareem Jabbar. And he said, I want you to go on up there with me because these brothers can't deal with that. You know they can't deal with it. We had a brother that fainted on the ladder. I fell out and laughed, and Shafer always said, "Now, brother, now calm down. Don't do him like that. Don't do him like that." But Shafer was always a mild-mannered brother. He even when I got angry, he would always calm me down. He was that kind of brother. Brother Manyun, he's here now. I don't know where he's sitting at. I can't see him right now. But Manyun and me and him was always like this. Now I've lost my best friend, my brother. So my heart is there. Right now it hasn't hit me too hard, but it's hit me. So I want everybody to forgive me because it's so much that I want to say and I can't. But the only thing I can say is that my brother is with Allah, and one day we'll be there with him. And I pray to Almighty God Allah that I be with him. And I pray to Almighty Allah between my mother and him come get me when it's time for me to go. I thank you. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank the family. I want to thank the brothers at the Islamic Center for helping this to happen. I want to thank the Imam Roberts and Brother Salim, brother and his father. I have to say his father, Brother Rashadah. Brother Rashadah was his father, his second father, but his father, and held him in his arm when he was a baby. So that is my father, Brother Rashadah. I want to say to Brother Salam Alaikum. I want to say Salam Alaikum to the family. Anybody that's Christians here, Salam Alaikum, may peace be upon you. That's what it means. And may God be with us all because we're all going there. There's no running from it. It's promised to us. So everybody needs to love each other, hug each other, much more than what we have been. It takes this to make us all come together, and I think that's wrong. I think it's a sin for us to do that. We need to come together every day. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. I used to be Shafer's barber. I used to cut his hair for maybe 10 or 15 years. And before he found the truth, he was looking for it like Indiana Jones. Yeah, that was his name before he became Abdullah. He was searching for something, and I witnessed that when he found Islam, he had peace. And I can say that I never, out of all the years that I knew Shafer, I never knew him to ever be mad or upset. I never seen him fight anyone or raise his hand towards anyone or talk about getting even with anyone. And Shafer, I never knew him to have a prejudiced bone in his body. He loved all people. I knew him back when bread was 25 cents, when you could buy a candy bar for a nickel. And many times, like I said, we went on adventures looking for the truth. You know, every organization you could think of to elevate his people. He loved all people, but he hated the condition that his own people was in, and he did everything in his power. Everything. He gave everything that he could ever give. He gave all. And one thing about it, he didn't burden anyone with his pain. You never knew he was in pain because he wouldn't burden no one with it. I talked to him about a month or so ago, and we were talking about janaza, how we want to be put away, and so forth. And he said, I said, well, brother, you certain about how you're going to be put away? He said, man, my kids got this. So he had a lot of confidence in his children. He said, they got this, brother, because he knew that if they didn't have it, I was going to step in. So I'd like to give my condolences to the family, all his loved ones, and everybody that knew him. But news show travel fast because it's only been a couple of days, and I see all these people here already. So I'd like to give my condolences and thank all his friends, his loved ones for coming out to making this a celebration for him. You know, we live our life. Inshallah, we're born Muslim. Inshallah, we live our life Muslim. Inshallah, we die Muslim. And this is what he got. He got the shrouding, the same shrouding that Jesus got. When you pass away, you don't put on your suit and tie and your shoes and your cap. When you pass from this physical earth, you're going to rest. You know, you don't wear clothes that you step out with. You wear a wrap. When Joseph begged Pilate for Jesus' body, this is what he wanted to do. So Pilate granted him that wish. And then immediately when they got him, they washed him and scented his body. And then they wrapped him. This is how we did our brother right here. This is the proper way of burying. You know, he's going to rest. May Allah grant him paradise. May Allah look over his family, his children, his loved ones, and all those who loved him. But I bear witness that was highly unusual to be around a person that often. When I cut hair for 25 cents. There's still a lot of people that owe me 25 cents for cutting hair. Everybody would go out on the weekend. I would be at the house cutting hair till 1 o'clock at night. And Shafer would be one of the last ones that come through. I said, I'm closed, bro. He said, I got to get this. So we went on many adventures together from morning to midnight, early in the morning. We just went traveling. But I bear witness like myself that when I found Islam, my soul rest. So I hope that Allah will grant you to either accept or understand it and realize that we as Muslims, we're not violent people. We are very loving people. And we need to get to know each other, Christians and Muslims, and Jews or whatever. We need to come together because we all have the same enemy, and that's Satan, the devil. I'm finished now. Assalamu alaikum.
We're going to try to limit our talk to no more than 3 minutes so I don't have to pull anybody's coat.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Imam, family, and friends. My name is Kofi, and I had the distinct pleasure of being a friend of Shafer Umar. And we've spent a lot of time together over the last 20 years, and certainly as he began to make his transition, myself and some of the brothers in Detroit were with him pretty much daily. And we never know what the hour is going to be, so it's always a surprise, but I think that the brother was astutely aware, as we all are as Muslims, that it's all just for the day. And the comments that have been made are very poignant because he was a warrior. And I remember, and someone mentioned about painting, and I remembered that Umar taught me how to paint. And believe me, I don't know if I still know how to paint, but whenever I pick up a brush, I can hear him. He used to say to me, give me the brush, man. Give me the brush. And he'd paint the room, and we'd go get paid. And he never said I didn't do enough or anything. But to the family, particularly, you know that your father loved you because of the degree of time and energy that he spent with you. And you were very important to him. And I think think that what I remember most about him is that he was very steadfast in that precious gift called love. And, you know, as much of a warrior as he was a real gentle guy. And I was sitting in my loft the other night, and Umar used to sit to my left, and he would come into my loft, and he'd eat up all my stuff, drink up all my juice. And I say, Umar, man, look, man, you can't have that. And he would, you know, he had those eyes that if you looked in his eyes, you surrendered. And I said, man, but you give me some money, man. You can't do this. And he didn't even hear that, you know. And that's what I loved about him, because as he took, he always gave. And he had an endless stream of giving, you know. And one of the most endearing things about him is that he was always hopeful and realistic. So to the family, carry that hope and carry that love that your father had. And to his friends, I think we've all been blessed to know him. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you all. Give an honor to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this beautiful rostrum up here. We thank, I want to first thank God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for his blessings. And I just want to, I'm going to make this as brief as I can, because it would take me a long time to tell you what I would like to tell you. But I just want to say that Brother Shafer's was my son. He called me Daddy. I met his father when I first came to Saginaw in 1949. I met his father. I know when he was born, I felt him as when he was a baby. I watched him grow up. So he left me with 9 grandchildren. I want you to know that this is Brother Rashida, and I love you. I want to thank Brother Jerome for keeping me informed on what was happening. He called me, he told me. Brother Jabbar, was right there with informing me, and I'm getting where I can't do what I used to do. But Brother Jabbar, he knew I wanted to see him. He took me up there to see him. And I'm thankful that he did, because I had the opportunity to see that he was blessed, he was not suffering. God blessed him. And when time come for the duties to be performed, to get him ready for this, Brother Jabaz, Brother Salim, Manan, Brother Hubbard, Rushdie, they were here. And I had some things that I could have been doing, but when I found out about it, I dropped everything.